This is a Headgum podcast.
Can I get that Tron? Can I get that Remy? Can I get that Coke? Can I get that Henny? Can I get that margarita on the rocks? Can I get that soda on the rim? Trey! I was like, yo, Trey, do you think you could buy me a bottle of rosé? Okay, let's get it now. That is an excerpt from the song Bottoms Up by Trey Songz featuring Ms. Nicki Minaj.
Ms. Nicki herself.
Now you're wondering, what year is it that we're listening to Bottoms Up? Well, I'll tell you, the year is 2010. And in order for us to, go back into the 2010 times, at this point, 13 years ago, I'm gonna list to you the top reality television shows of the year 2010. Okay. According to my phone, Real Housewives is coming up. Okay. I guess Real Housewives was popular in 2010.
I feel like that was probably when it first started.
Probably. Basketball Wives, also popular in 2010. Undercover Boss, which I remember I loved. Do you remember this show?
I've never heard of Undercover Boss.
It's when your boss would dress up as an employee of their own company.
That needs to come back ASAP.
And then they'd go in and they'd be like, if you were working, say you were working in a car factory and you're on the line, then they'd be like, so what do you think of Jessica, trying to get dirt on themselves.
The dirt. That's a fucking great reality show.
I know. It's really good.
100%.
And also their disguises were so schlocky. It would literally be a Columbo mustache. And
it's giving Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, it's giving no budget.
It's giving no budget.
It's giving no budget. Okay. Wow, Jerseylicious came out in 2010.
Okay, I fucking love that show. Olivia, she still follows me on Instagram. I'm obsessed with it.
Jerseylicious. I forgot about this show.
Tracy and Olivia, they're doing people's hair. They're spritzing. And then they have this
feud. It was on for 6 seasons.
6 seasons?
Yes.
Work, bitch. Real Friends of WeHo has a really big future in that case.
Oh my God. You know what came out for 1 season in 2010? Pretty Wild.
The fact that I have chills. I have chills. Wait, do you know what I just found out about that show? Is that if you remember the first episode when the cops knock on the door, that was actually production. The cops, they reenacted and they all admitted they reenacted that scene and it was the production and that's why they're cameras down. It's the LAPD. And that wasn't even real. That was actually
so funny. It was some PA that
it was
they had
literally
wear a cop costume.
Yes.
That's so funny. The last 3 that I'm going to list because I think they're really funny. One is Bethany getting married, her wedding spinoff.
Manifesting. There's no reason why that would come up unless,
Bethany getting married. Then Harry Loves Lisa. For all my Lisa Rinna fans out there.
What? How did I not know about this?
1 season it was on in 2010.
Wow.
And then a show that I did watch was The Real L Word. Do you remember this?
No.
3 seasons. Yep.
I have a lot of catching up to do tonight. I'm excited. I'm literally going to watch all of these, especially Harry Loves Lisa.
Well, where were we when Harry Loves Lisa was popping off? We're in Fairfax Station, Virginia, and we are Joey Zauzig.
I can't even believe it, honey. Joey Zauzig in 2010 was scary.
No.
But exciting.
I think really exciting. Just to, paint the picture for us, I got to know, who, because I've known you for years now. Years upon years. And I've seen you flourish and grow into the person that I always knew you were destined to be.
Yeah.
And
you always believed in me.
I always believed in you. And I feel like you cannot have been that different in high school. So paint the picture for me as to who you were in high school. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. What was your high school like, etc.?
Well, okay, so I got kicked out of Catholic school on purpose by stealing a Gatorade because I just wasn't comfortable. And I was
What do you mean by stealing a Gatorade?
My parents wouldn't let me leave, and I was like, I'm being really made fun of here. No one's accepting me in this Catholic school, not even the headmaster. They did not want Joey Gay to come out the closet. So I was like, well, how am I going to get out of here? Because my parents won't let me leave. So the only thing to do was to steal a Gatorade in front of the headmaster. And guess what I did? I stole the Gatorade and they asked me to leave. And I went to the school I wanted to go to, which was Robinson Secondary School, which was 7 through 12. So I had a short blimp. I did 7th, 8th grade Robinson, 9th and half of 10th grade Paul VI Catholic High School.
Ew, Paul VI.
Honey, the boys there, you know who you are, that made fun of me. Where are you at?
Yeah, I was going to say, where are they now?
Where are you at?
Where are they now?
I don't even want to know. But, that was like
was that uniform?
It was uniform, which was in a way easier and kind of nicer because, I was so ready to, express myself with my outfits, but, I didn't really know what that meant.
Right.
So when you asked me, cut to senior year, I have this vision of myself and, these, light colored, jeans from, I think they were, Old Navy with, a teal tank top from American Apparel and teal, fake bootleg Converse that I got from, ASOS. And that was kind of, my go-to look. I thought I was so great. I was
pop of color shirt to match the pop of color shoe with the neutral pants.
That was, I think that was, my coming out outfit. That's what I see for myself. I came out 11th grade going into senior year, and that was, my go-to. And I had every color in that motherfucking American Apparel tank top, bitch. You better believe that, that was my look. So I don't know, I was just, the outfits kind of inspired me to be who I am. And you asked me if I was the same person. And I think the charismatic Joey always existed, but the insecure Joey that still does exist today was just so much more prominent back then. I just wanted to be accepted and loved at the end of the day. So I was just trying to do the fucking absolute most.
Yeah.
I still do the absolute most. But I think back then I was just I was trying real hard.
Oh, yeah.
To be someone that I wasn't, but that I became.
Yes. I know that feeling. That's a very teenage feeling. Because when you're a teenager, you are truly just flying. What is that saying? Flying by the seat of your pants? Seed?
Flying by the seal of your ass.
Seat. The ass. You're flying by your ass.
Flying by your ass.
Yeah, when you're a teen, you're flying by
the tip of my ass.
Yeah, you're flying by the tip of your ass.
You are. You don't know where you're going or what you're doing. But I knew the one thing I knew, I wanted to make it. I was I want to be in New York in fashion. Little did they know fashion don't pay much, honey. So I was I want to be in fashion. I want to be I didn't really know what I wanted to be, but I kind of just knew I wanted to be a star.
Yeah.
And I was for some reason, I was it's going to start with fashion.
I mean, I think that's also a really juvenile, sweet thing where you're I want to be chic. I want to be seen. I want to be different. And what are ways of differentiating ourselves? How we dress.
Exactly.
So of course it's I'm going to go and I'm going to be a star and I'm going to be a fashion star.
Yeah.
And I think too, I always wanted to be now I can admit it because I'm more secure in myself.
Yeah,
but I always wanted to be an actor or an entertainer, and I always wanted to do that. But I remember
you are.
I am, but I remember being in high school, getting rejected so many times that I was well, I guess I'm just going to be an artist because that was still a way for me to differentiate myself, but not be so vulnerable as to get rejected by my desire to be a performer.
Yeah, that's kind of I get that. You put one thing on the back burner to be I can do it a different way.
Yeah.
Or, that's not going to happen, but I have that backup plan. We all go through those things in our heads,
Yes.
And senior year was really transformative too because I was finding myself and I still have that mentality of who I am today when I was in senior year because I came out summer going into senior year.
How did you come out?
I just I remember, this is really dramatic, but I'm still dramatic. It was at a birthday dinner with my family. I just remember the feeling of sitting with my stepmom and my dad and my step siblings. And I was just this is not me. Cause I was popping my pussy in DC, on the side and no one knew it. I was going to DC every weekend instead of high school parties. And like I sat at that table and I was like, I don't feel like I'm being myself right now.
How did they not know that you were going into DC and like?
Because I would just be like, I'm sleeping at this person's house or I'm going to this. I think they had like a little bit of an idea.
Would you stay with Eric?
Yeah, I'd stay at Eric Best's apartment. Thank God one of my friends who was my age had an apartment in the city. So, and then they met Eric and I was just like, I'm staying at Eric's house. They didn't know what Eric's house meant.
Right.
So they just like, it just worked. But then that moment I was like, I don't feel like I'm being myself and it doesn't feel good to not be myself around my family. And I left that dinner bawling my eyes out. I cried. My mom was like, Mom, like I'm bisexual. She's like, you're gay. And we know. And we love you. I was like, no, but I think I'm bi. Because I still will hook up with a girl to this day. But like... But that's the culture. You can't really tell people you're bi because everyone's like, because of how flamboyant. Like, I'm definitely gay, but like, I don't think girls are disgusting. Like, I don't think vaginas are like so out of the box. No pun intended. Like, I think that I would still totally do that. But my mom was like, no, you're gay. We kind of knew. And I was like, don't tell dad. Don't tell dad. Week later, I'm like, Dad, I have something to tell you. He's like, you're gay? No, your mom told me. I was like, very anticlimactic coming out story. But it was, for me, like, a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And then senior year, when I was more comfortable in my high school, because I was always so insecure, I became the head of the fashion show. Like I was in DECA, which is like something of, I have no idea. What does DECA stand for? Do you guys remember DECA?
What's DECA? DECA?
DECA.
What does it stand for?
It was very prominent in senior year
in
Virginia.
I Google it?
What is DECA? In Fairfax, Virginia, Robinson.
DECA, Fairfax.
Distributive Education Clubs of America.
Okay.
Is that it?
Period.
Yeah, that probably is it.
Okay, well, maybe I was just...
Official Twitter of Fairfax High School, DECA. Yeah, Virginia DECA is proud to serve the students, advisors, and business community of the Commonwealth. DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in something. Reach your peak with DECA.
So I think I reached my peak with DECA. And I think like when I became the head of the fashion show, thank you, DECA, it was like my moment to be like, oh, I'm going to do this damn thing. And I'm going to do it. It was like a board game theme.
Okay, I was going to say, when you say head of fashion show, also you really just reminded me that in my senior year of high school I bought a pair of Monopoly Reeboks that I thought were like the coolest shoes I ever had in my life.
Shut up.
This just came flooding back into my brain. That was a repressed memory that like wanted to stay away, but you're
not getting away from those Clue shoes, bitch,
no,
or whatever.
I'm not.
My thing was Clue, so it's like, it was board games, which is crazy that was your memory, and this is the theme of the fucking fashion show.
And then, okay, so it's Clue, and then what?
It's Clue. I don't know. I did the damn thing and dressed up these girls in like Jessica McClintock dresses from Tyson's Corner.
Wait, what?
We like bought in return. Like, I don't know. It was like a mess, but it was a success.
You went to Tyson's, which for those that are unfamiliar with Northern Virginia, Tyson's is like the mall. Tyson's has all the design. Tyson's too, obviously.
We love a Galleria moment.
They have all of the designer stores. They had Neiman Marcus. They had all of it.
Oh, yeah.
So you were going to the mall and buying the looks and then returning them.
Oh, yeah. I did full-on Jessica McClintock prom dresses and put those poor girls to walk down the high school runway in.
Did you make the girls audition?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I held an audition, and the fashion marketing things was Miss Hinkhouse. She still follows me. She'll remember this. I, like, handpicked those models. Laura Osgood, I remember, was, like, my assistant on the thing. And I put her through the ringer, okay? I was like, you go to Jessica McClintock, and you get those 5 gowns for these girls. I need a size 6, a size 12, and a size 8.
Whose credit card did you put it on?
I think I stole my mom's like debit card. She found out eventually. She was like, what are these Jessica McClintock? On charge. I was like, don't worry, it's going to go back on the card, I promise. That's a good question. I think I filled up like my gas tank too. I was like, this is an opportunity. Like it was, times were tough senior year.
I mean, stealing your mom's debit card to buy Jessica McClintock dresses for the fashion show that's Clue themed.
There was a lot going on.
Was there Miss Plum?
Oh, bitch, there was Miss Plum. So I think I'm going to send you guys. My mom just sent me a disc of the fashion show, and I've yet to watch it because I can't find a disc player. I'm going to have to send you guys a little clip.
Please.
Because I think that would be hilarious.
I think that's really good.
I still have it in a box. I'm gonna pop it in today.
Please do.
For the first time.
So outside of DECA,
We love Jacka.
Did you play sports? Because I feel like you probably had so much pressure on you to play sports because you're tall.
I did. And my dad was such a big basketball player. So my parents were just trying whatever they damn could. Also, I had a lot of girlfriends, and my parents kind of didn't love the idea of me only having girlfriends. They tried to push me into every sport just to try and get me to have more guy friends. But the reason why, so basketball was big for me. And the reason why I didn't stick with it is because when it would come time to go in the locker rooms, I felt so uncomfortable around all those guys. Because I've always been kind of flamboyant and charismatic. And guys, when you're growing up, they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They just label you as gay. The second that people figured out what gay was, that was me.
Yeah.
People were just oh, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, your voice. So I did that. Volleyball I loved, but same thing. Even though all those guys are fucking gay in volleyball, period. Sorry, volleyball guys. Sorry, they are. All of them still to this day. But that I just never felt comfortable to play sports.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. I don't think I've ever said that, but that's why I just didn't feel comfortable. I'm sure a lot of gay people can, a lot of gay guys can kind of relate to that just because we didn't, when you're gay and people already think it just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of guys that I knew that came out afterward did play sports because it kind of masks.
Right.
I wanted to be in drama, bitch.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel comfortable to do a monologue or a skit. So
Right.
that was hard for me. And my parents were kind of why don't you want to do sports? That was probably the first giveaway.
Right.
Because I was really theatrical.
But also, I don't know, there's something that feels, because I was not a sports girl, and there's something that feels very primal and vulnerable about locker rooms.
Yeah, no, that's what it, exactly. It just I felt vulnerable. I felt uncomfortable. And I don't know, I wasn't down to look at people's dicks at that point. I wasn't comfortable yet. I was why do I want to look?
Well, because if you were to look at someone's dick too, people would catch you.
Oh, yeah.
Then that's scary.
Oh, yeah, unless they wanted it. And that was a really hot hookup story. I love a locker room, public. I lost my virginity at the Green Thumb in the Hamptons, which is a nursery.
Wait, you mean a flower nursery?
Oh, a flower nursery. Yeah, literally it's called the Green Thumb, bitch. I got the Green Thumb.
How old were you?
Wait, that's not where I lost my virginity. That's just the craziest sex story I've had. But I don't even remember how I do remember I remember how I lost my virginity. We'll go back to that, but I did have sex at the Green Thumb in the Hamptons.
Which should be known.
But that should be known.
Yeah.
Because everyone passes it when they're on the way to the
and
Hamptons.
Just know
so you'll
that
never
if you're
see
on
it.
Montauk Highway.
I was in the back of the Green Thumb getting stuffed, Henny. Actually, I was doing the stuffing. No, I lost my virginity, guy virginity, on the floor of this really hot guy that was in college at George Mason at the time, which is for you guys that don't know, it's the nice local college. It's not a community college.
One step up.
He lived at home and we were on the floor and his mom was on Ambien and came in and I was riding the dick like a BMX and she came in and she's on Ambien. She's where am I? And I remember she
Wait,
hit
she
her
said,
head.
where am I?
Yes.
Wait, so you were
It was
on
trippy.
top of this
On the floor of his bedroom.
and his mom walked in and said, where am I?
She was where am I? What's going on? I was oh my God, he was she's on Ambien. I was what is Ambien? I had no idea what Ambien was at the time.
How'd you meet this guy?
He was in my sister's grade and he would come over and they were kind of friends. And then he came out and he was the only gay guy I wanted. And so I Facebook messaged him and I was hey, I've been kind of having these feelings. He was so you want to try it for the first, it was kind of hot when I think about it. We were having this really undisclosed conversation on Facebook without really saying it.
Yeah.
He's you should come over. And next thing I know, I'm getting spread open by Brian. Oh my God, I can't. Should I say his name? I don't really care.
We're going to bleep it.
He was hot. So I was this is hot. And then after that, it was just kind of smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I was popping my pussy all over DC.
But what happened with the mom on Ambien?
I don't remember, but she still follows me on Instagram. So and I did do a YouTube video about this and she came for me. And she's I remember that. I was do you? Because she hit her head on something. It was a whole thing.
She hit her head
she's
on
where am I?
something?
What are the things I remember about losing my virginity? The mom on Ambien, hitting my head, her hitting her head on the door, her being get the fuck out, or someone, I don't think she told me to get the fuck out. I think she told him to get the fuck out. All her true feelings about him living at home while he was in college. A lot.
Were exposed.
Everything was exposed. So it was a traumatic night for me, but I was living for the drama. Still
chomping at the bit for the damn stuff.
I was living for it.
I love that.
And I think I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Cut to I'm getting fucked in the back of a green thumb in the Hamptons. So,
was your high school like cliquey?
Yeah, I think it was cliquey. Not like I think like traditional cliquey, but there was definitely like the jocks and the cheerleaders and the like tennis people and like
the tennis people. You never hear about the tennis people.
Well, they're all gay now. And I'm just gonna no, of course the tennis
Joey's
guys.
like the tennis people are gay, the volleyball people are gay, the DECA people are gay.
Oh my god, the DECA people totally gay. But yeah, like there was definitely clicked. I was kind of like a floater. Like I felt like.
The most successful people are floaters.
Yeah,
You have to appeal to everyone.
Yeah, I wasn't like friends with a certain group, but I tried really hard to be friends with like, you know how like girls, I don't know if like any girls like can relate to this, but like girls would like change. Like they could not be so popular. Like I was friends with like the really pretty girls that weren't that popular. And then as we got older, they would kind of become popular, but they were kind of like too cool. But I always experienced like my girlfriends would like in front of like the jocks would treat me completely differently because I was gay. And like those girls aren't my friends anymore. But like I would always be like just happy to be friends with them.
Right.
So I would try and like hang on to that for dear life. But in front of them, like, get away from me, faggot. And then behind my back, they'd be like the gay guys would always call me faggot in the hallways, and they would just kind of stand there. And I'm like, why is no one standing up for me? And it was sad. But for some reason, I just wanted to be friends with those girls. And like, I wasn't allowed to go to certain parties because they'd be like, well, Ryan's having a party at his house, but I think it's just like a few people. Like, and I knew what was going on. So that was hurtful. But then I had like my ride or die girlies that were like cool, too cool for school, but like losers, but like not losers, but like
no, but people probably like people like me.
Like yeah, like what were you like? Did you like?
I was a floater, but I also was like never really fully in the popular clique. And then by the time that they like wanted to fuck with me, I was like, no, too little, too late, honey. Like you could have had this when I was giving it to you, and now I'm not.
Yes. 100% pin the tail on the donkey's ass.
Yeah. So, I'm pinning the tail on the donkey's ass.
Is that what it is?
It is.
Yeah.
And
so
that's, it was very that. I just remember, when you like wouldn't get invited to some parties or when you would like find out later on, that's like the worst. It's just like, tell me.
Yeah. Like that's how I always was. I'm the same. I was like, just tell me that they don't want me there because I'm gay. So, their loss. I was quite the life of the party.
I was going to say life of the goddamn party. What they don't know is that Joey is the life of the party.
I still am today. And that's why I was like, fuck it, I'll go to DC. So I started going to the gay clubs in DC in high school.
Did you have a fake ID?
Oh, I had like 5 fake IDs.
Where did you get them?
I would use like the guy who I was riding his dick on the floor with the mom Ambien.
Yeah.
I took his ID. He like gave it to his old ID, which scanned at the ABC stores. So I had the balls in high school. I'm gonna get like arrested for saying this. I had to go into the ABC store and have ID. I was like one of the only seniors or juniors who had an ID that scanned at the liquor stores.
I had my sister's ID and I was the same. I was the only one that
so I would just
scan.
go and pick up bottles. I didn't have to just go to the grocery stores.
We're gonna get into what bottles those were after this little break. What was your drink of choice in high school? When did you start drinking?
I started drinking really early on. Like I think I must have been like, it was 7th grade for sure.
Yeah.
But
Hypnotic for me.
Oh my God.
That was like my first thing, Hypnotic.
Dude, my nanny got fired at the time because my mom went away and she bought me Hypnotic and I brought it to like school in my backpack. I didn't get in trouble at school, but I was like, guys, I got Hypnotic. Amy. Okay, wait. Just picture this, guys. Amy drove like a Jeep Cherokee from like 1990.
Yes.
And we're driving to school. And I swear to God, she was listening to Peaches and we're driving to school, sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me. I was in the back chugging Hypnotic and she was like listening to that song on the way. Like,
wait, so you were drinking Hypnotic before school?
Yes. Like my mom was out of town, so we would have like parties and like it was just bad.
But like
I was a horrible kid in high school and like middle school. So like I think I started drinking like 8th grade and I just kept drinking, honey.
Yeah.
I like lived for it. I thought it made me cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I lived for it. Hypnotic.
I mean, let's be honest, it did make you cool.
It did.
Yes.
And I would like try, my mom would go out of town all the time. My parents were divorced. So I would always like have people over all the time. And so did my sister. My sister was 2 grades above me. So like, and my sister was through and through the popular girl.
Yeah.
Hottest. Everyone wanted. So like, you know, people were nicer to me.
Because of her.
That. I think so.
What were you like? It's when I think about being a teenager and like going to the liquor store, to me, the people that worked there like had to know that you were a teen simply based on what you were purchasing. Like now I would never go to the liquor store and buy like Pinnacle birthday cake. I would never go to the liquor store and buy. I went through this phase of buying Smirnoff cranberry. I used to get Smirnoff cranberry and mix it with cranberry juice and get fully blackout on that.
That sounds like I'm gonna like puke everywhere.
And then like people get like 99 bananas and like
I used to fuck with that. I'd like, let's get fucked up. I was like on a
Malibu.
mission. When I was drinking, I was gonna black out. Like there was nothing else that mattered except like I needed to black out. So I was all on the 99 bananas, 99 blueberries.
All of that.
But then I got alcohol poisoning one time on Pinnacle whipped cream. So I can't even, and my mom found me. I had to go to the hospital and get my stomach pumped. And I worked at Wegmans at the time. And my parents made me go to work the next day. And everything I would eat would just taste like tar because they pump your stomach with tar.
Oh, with charcoal.
Yeah, with charcoal. It was awful. It was I still drank that weekend too, but I just didn't drink Pinnacle ever again. It didn't teach me. I had a stretcher. I literally left my house, ambulance, the whole thing.
Oh my God.
It was awful. And then I also, before I blacked out, I was telling you, I also projectile vomited in the Taco Bell parking lot. Pinnacle and I were just not friends.
A match made in heaven.
We were not. Like, you know, I love this Smirnoff. But I got classy pretty quick going to DC, you know? Like, I was like, kind of like, ooh, there's Grey Goose. Like,
I was going to say, it's like, I'll have Absolute.
Oh, yeah. Absolute popped it up. What's funny is I got into this big Absolute phase and then cut 2. I did like my biggest campaign to date with Absolute for Pride. So I was like, this is a total 360.
I mean, they had the most iconic ads. Outside of Got Milk, I would say Absolute was number 2.
Got Milk, Absolute.
You know?
It's really good.
Knock, knock, knock. Is that a knock on the door that I hear? Why, yes, it is. Welcome to the high school guidance counselor's office.
Oh, God.
I'm your high school guidance counselor.
I wish.
I wish too. Well, for this moment, I will be.
Okay, be my high school guidance counselor. You don't want to deal with me in high school.
I open the door and I say, Joey, you again. What brings you in today?
There's a multitude of damn things it could be.
So in this one,
I have D's and F's, and I'm really trying to get them higher because my parents are really upset with me, but I don't really want to go to class. So teach me how we can do this without me like going to class and still getting good grades.
2 words for you. Spark Notes.
Ooh.
Did you use Spark Notes?
Of course I use Spark Notes. It's how I got through fucking high school. I never read the damn books.
No, of course not.
I hated reading. Like, it's really bad. I'm just going to admit that here, and I hope people don't hate me. I'm trying to read more, but I hated reading in high school. I don't know why, but...
I learned to love it. I also hated reading in high school.
Like, it just wasn't my thing.
Reading in high school, I was like, really? And in hindsight, they would be like, you need to read 3 chapters. And in hindsight, it was like... I remember thinking to myself, 40 pages? I need to read 40 pages? Like, and I remember being like, what the fuck is wrong with these teachers? They're
Me too.
sick. Like,
Me too.
They're sick.
I'm like, they're torturing us. Like, fuck Miss Curson.
And
like,
now I laugh at myself because if I'm actually enjoying a book, I can read like 80 pages in a day.
I can read, I've read a book on a beach, the whole thing. Like, you can just go.
Yeah.
But like back then, I was like, this is painful. I'm like, fuck To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
And like the pig book. What's the pig? The Flies.
Pink book.
The Fly. The
Lord of the
pigs,
Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I always fake read that and I would like copy of something. I was just like, I don't feel like... I was very social. I didn't feel like doing the work. I just wanted to be like with my friends.
Buzzing
and, like,
around.
Popping around, popping my pussy, like listening to Bottoms Up and Nikki.
Yes.
Like, you know, like...
2 peas of the pod.
Seriously.
There are books that I will admit now I never read. I never read Of Mice and Men.
Me neither.
Never read, honestly, I never read Beloved, the Toni Morrison book.
Never heard of that.
Really?
What high school did you go to, Amy?
Georgetown Day. I never read...
That sounds advanced.
To be honest, I never really read The Great Gatsby.
Me neither.
Like, I kind of just, poked around. I did read Catcher in the Rye, and I loved that book.
I couldn't get into that.
I didn't read...
I don't even remember how. I know now that you say that sparks these memories of all these fucking reading assignments that I never did. And now I'm like, oh my God, I didn't read any of these books. It's bad. I saw The Great Gatsby. That's why do you have to read the book? You're going to get the gist.
Yeah, so with Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's good. I wanted to watch.
It's not good. Anyway, but in this segment of the podcast, you get to air any grievances of your high school past. You get to say fuck you to whoever you want or apologize to whoever you want. Now we get to rectify any sort of, wrongdoing of high school yore.
Well, I'm going to start. I'm going to start. Yeah, high school yore.
Yeah.
I'm going to start here because I've never ever done this, and every interview I've done and anything like that about high school has always been about how I felt bullied because I was really severely bullied. But I want to start by saying I apologize if I ever, I have this show coming out and I'm seeing a lot of comments about I grew up with this person. People come out the damn woodworks.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sure I must have treated someone not so nice and whatever. So I apologize if I ever made someone feel bad or if I ever felt that. It was only coming from insecurity and I was just trying to fit in.
Of course.
And I'm sure, but I've never said that, I just have only talked about how I felt because I really was I grew up with some fucked up people. And, I feel bad saying this, but there's one specific person, she follows me. I'm sure she'll see this, but I don't care about my best friend, and we went to Paul VI together, and she totally ditched me, and I'll never forget that. And I want to just make that clear, and that could cause some drama. But she really fucked me over because we went to the school together, and she left me. And then everyone started making fun of me, and I just, and just fuck all the guys that have come to my DMs. I'm still nice to you right now, but this is my on the record moment to say I still fucking hate you. And you really tried to ruin my life, but look at me now. Ha ha ha. I wish everyone the best, but I'm so happy now. And thank you for shitting all over me and trying to ruin me because you didn't, and you only made me stronger. And those times that I felt like I wanted to kill myself or jump off a bridge and I didn't want to be in the world anymore because I had a lot of those low moments that you guys caused. I'm not promoting your friend's water company. I'm not promoting your new company that you're trying to get off the ground in Reston, Virginia. Amy. I will never post your products, and this might sound a little brutal, but I'm never doing it. So you fucked up. So maybe this reminds people now I
love that now saying I will never post your products.
I will never post your product.
That is a fucking threat. That's on God, on period.
And that's on period. And to the girl that's doing this cooking channel that went to my high school that used to call me a faggot in the hallways, I'm never reposting your shit. As much as you've tried to kiss my ass and comment on all my photos and tell me how proud you are of me, you're staying at 32K on TikTok and you're never growing.
You're done.
You're done. And you're never getting a retweet from me, Amy. But thank you to all those people because you made me who I am and all the shit you put me through. Look at me now, and I still wish everyone the best because that's who I am. But I'm never going to be a vehicle to help you. So for anyone that's bullying people, so for all the bullies that are listening to this right now, you never know who's going to be you're going to need to lean on to be posting your new products or, bringing you to a cool event or wanting to plug you. So be nice to everyone.
My mom gave me some really great advice. You never know who anyone is or who anyone is going to be.
Period. That's why be nice to everybody. Don't be a cunt. And that's honestly, the best piece of advice I think that anyone could take is that's such a vehicle of things I think I messed up with. Even in high school, now I keep that in my mind all the time. Some people are like, oh, that person's not nice because of who they are. You don't know. If you don't know someone, just be nice to everyone. It surprises me in LA how many people are just bitchy off the bat before they know anything about anyone.
Yeah.
For what?
I also think in LA, you definitely feel the celebrity hierarchy complex more than other cities. And sometimes I think it's so funny because it's you can be out And someone can be a cunt to someone that I'm with. And if that person is doing something interesting and cool, and even if you're not, the point is, no one knows who the fuck anyone is.
Exactly. And no one's better than anyone.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing behavior. It makes me embarrassed for people that do that so flippantly and so publicly. I'm just like, ew.
Ew, it's such a turnoff. And then, even switching it to the different narrative for me, it's like, I'm going to be honest here and put myself in a vulnerable position. Sometimes it makes me feel insecure because I still have that high school insecurity that I've still lingers nowadays. So when these like people who I'm around in the industry treat me like shit, I'm like, am I not cool enough? Like, do I? And that's sad.
But Joey, I feel that way all the time. Like, I have lingering high school shit, middle school shit. Like, these things, high school is such a formative time. It's like when we're like setting in our little like Jello molds, but we're like not fully hardened yet to pop out.
Yeah.
And then when we do pop out, we're
analogy.
like, thank you. I think that's a good analogy.
It's a really good analogy. I've never heard that in my life.
Jello mold.
But it feels great.
And then you pop out and then you're like, wait, I still have little bits of this left in me. My biggest thing that I struggle with in my adult life, specifically as it pertains to business, is a feeling of being not cool enough. Like, I'll literally have moments of being like, am I not cool enough? Did I fuck up? Am I irrelevant? Am I like this and that? And they're all the same exact feelings that I felt in adolescence and high school.
Me too. I'm still working. It's like the superiority complex. Like, I'm still, or like what's the other thing called? What's it called? Inferiority. No.
There's an inferiority complex and I guess probably a superiority complex as well.
Same shit. You guys know what I mean. But like, I still get that. I mean, especially doing the show, like, I'm in a whole different space right now than I even was like a few months ago before filming the show. Cause like this, I just have been in, it's kind of like going back to high school for real. Because now I'm like, holy shit, all the things I thought I really worked on and like my insecurities and stuff, like they really come out. And I'm really like working on them now again because I realize like the Jello, whatever analogy.
Your Jello mold.
My Jello mold is that.
Your Jello mold is not setting.
It's not setting, bitch. Yeah. I'm like, set. Like the oven's not on.
Yeah.
Does Jello go in the oven?
It goes in the fridge, hon.
The fridge is busted.
In this case,
that Viking didn't turn on. That Sub-Zero wasn't plugged in.
Sub-Zero was not plugged in.
So like, like things like that, like I'm just like, holy shit, here we are back in high school.
I know. You're trying to put the Jello mold back in the fridge.
I'm trying to. I gotta plug it in.
And you know what? We need to keep our molds plugged in, honestly, at all times.
At all times, keep your fucking mold.
Keep your fucking mold plugged in.
Keep your mold plugged in so you can fucking form, bitch.
Do we have a classmates corner?
We do.
We get a little listeners write in, and we get to hear their grievances from high school as they talk to us as their guidance counselors.
I love.
Okay, so this is from Kira. Kira says, "Hi, Greta. Obsessed with the pod and with high school trauma. So thank you for your work. I want to say fuck you to the girls in my high school that started the Gossip Girl style Twitter account to talk shit about people in my class and then spread the rumor that I was the one who started it. These girls wrote the most vile shit about other girls in my class being sluts, losers, ugly, etc., including some of my friends. There weren't any tweets about me, which I'm guessing was on purpose because they then started the rumor that I was behind the Twitter account, and my friends confronted me about it, believing the rumor. I ended up sobbing to my English teacher about it during lunch.
We love an English teacher. They're always the most supportive and tender.
I know. Why are the English teachers always the best?
Yeah.
The whole ordeal convinced me that no one in my high school was a good person, and I don't talk to anyone from my high school anymore because of it. The end.
Okay. Wow.
There is a lot to unpack there.
That's traumatic.
That is so fucked up. That's like my biggest fear is that when people, like, when you're watching a movie and like the person is like making the other person look bad and they didn't really do it.
Yes.
As like a viewer, like I can't watch those types of things because they make me like crawl out of my skin. I just want to be like, that's not true. Don't believe her because she's the one that did it. Like that's how I feel hearing that because I'm like, holy shit. Like that is like some real hatred. There's a special place for that person.
That's like a very, I'm sorry, like girl, not to be gendered, but girls can be fucking vile.
They can be. They're vile.
And I think that like, we do it. Girls are just like inherently way smarter than specifically straight men. And I think that we almost do it as a way to like push our intellect and like our boundaries to like almost see what fucking hell we can get away with.
Is that what it is? I never realized. I'm like, some girls can be, no offense, I'm in a room with girls, but some girls can be fucking evil. And I'm like, for what?
I think a lot of
Why can't
girls
be friends?
I mean, Tevi, let me, like, maybe if you'll agree with me here, I think that girls can have a tendency of getting really bored. And I think in their boredom, because once again, we are smarter and more dynamic, I think that we will get boreder quicker. Like, I remember being around like my straight boyfriends or like whatever, like, okay, like you entertain me for like an hour. And then like, who do I want to hang out with? Like fun people that are like more interesting. And I think it can lead girls to do like crazy shit.
Yeah, and I think it's also like you are mimicking things you're either seeing on TV or movies or older girls.
Yes.
Because like I had girls who were older than me that were like not nice, and then I wasn't like a bully, but maybe I would have mimicked, if someone was mean to me, like that behavior as a defense.
Also, to your point, like I remember watching like Cruel Intentions, for example. Yes. And at the end when Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, spoiler alert, gets exposed for being a cokehead and like all this terrible shit and like
I live for
I just like the high drama I think is so luring across the board for we talk about it a lot in Ryan O'Connell's episode of like the high drama, and you want to almost recreate that for yourself. And I do think that girls specifically can get super fucking sinister and
sinister characters for sure, bitch.
And like just to like do fucked up shit. And
it's not even really about the person that they're doing it to. It's just like the like act of it's like entertainment for them, which is like the sick part. They choose some Sally O'Hara from some school that's like just minding her own damn business in English class. Next thing you know, she's starting to Twitter against the whole school.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Well, girl, I love you, and I'm sorry you went through that. But you know what? I'm sure it's making you fucking stronger now. And
also, if our classmate were to reach out to this group of girls now and be like, "Why did you do this?" I guarantee you, they would have no idea why.
Oh my God, they would literally be like so apologetic, and they would be like, "I feel so bad." I mean, even if they didn't reach out, they should have reached out already and said, because that's such a horrible, vile thing to do. So hopefully they see this or something and fucking listen. Like, they should have reached out to you anyway. And if they don't, fuck them, because they made you a better person. Because I do agree. I do think, unfortunately, sometimes you're put in positions that are really shitty like that. And you're like the point of like a lot of fucked up things in your life because you're meant to handle it. And they do kind of make you a better person. And it's fucked up because it's like, oh my God, that was probably the worst thing I'm sure anyone could have dealt with.
When you're a teenager, it's just put under a microscope.
Exactly.
Because like everything when you're a teenager is the end of the fucking world.
No matter what. I'm like, I think about it some days, like now we're like adults and we're like doing real life. And I'm like, oh my God, all the things that I thought in high school that were like the end of the world. I'm like, some days I wish I could just go back. No bills.
I know.
Nothing. We didn't worry about shit. I'm like, this is wonderful.
I laughed to myself. Like, here I am, jeans, boots.
Come on, boots.
Turtleneck.
Come on, turtle boots. Neck.
And I think about like my mom when she was my age. My mom was fully like working in the government in a fucking little power suit and like stockings and like heels every day.
Oh, that's giving.
And I'm like, oh, like that in my mind was like being a grown-up was being an adult. I still feel like I'm 17.
Me too.
You know?
I was just about to say that. I really feel the same way. And I'm like, when does it get like, do you think like our parents, like, you know, your mom walking in the government, do you think she still felt like a 17? Like,
no, I think my mom was perpetually like, I am boss.
And an adult and boss, you know? Bitch. But you have the boss mentality too, for sure.
I do.
But I still feel like I'm like a 17-year-old, like living in Virginia, driving my little Volkswagen Passat.
Oh, I love a Passat. Did it smell like crayons? Because I have noticed a tendency in Volkswagens that they also always smell like crayons. If
Volkswagens have a
Volkswagen smell like crayons. If you drive a Volkswagen,
do you drive a Volkswagen?
Are you saying crayons?
Crayons.
Oh, I don't know what a crayons are.
Do you guys have a Volkswagen?
What do you mean? You know what a crayon is?
Crayon, yes.
Crayons.
Do we have a box of crayons? Because I need to like a refresh. So Volkswagens have a scent.
Hold on. I think you and I have this. Well, we grew up so close to each other that I think we have the same accent when we say crayons.
Crayons. crayon.
It's crayon. It's a crayon.
Crayon.
It's not a crayon,
It's not a
bitch.
crayon, bitch.
Yeah, we're not in France.
We're not, it's a crayon.
Crayon.
It's not crayon, bitch. That was not my Duolingo.
Yeah, Tevi was like, can I have that crayon?
Wait, how do you say pillow? Pillow.
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 How do you say milk?
Milk.
Oh, I say milk.
Milk.
I say milk.
What do you mean milk?
Like milk.
Milk.
Like M-E-L-K.
He's saying it with an E.
I say milk. And
I say
pillow.
milk. How do you say drawer?
Drawer. Don't say draw.
I say drawer.
Okay.
My
Brian's
mom-
like, can you open the drawer? I'm like, you gotta just say drawer. My sister like got married to a Canadian, not anymore. And he used to say, now my sister's picked up. She's like, can you call mom? Could you give me some water? I'm like, just
Water.
fucking say water, bitch. We grew up in the same house.
Drama. Pasta.
Oh, don't. Ugh.
I know.
Sorry. I love
the
it, but
A's.
it's just not. For my sister, I'm like, you don't have this accent. Like, we grew up together.
Go back to Nova.
Go back to Nova. Go to community college. I don't know why I just rubbed the microphone as if she went to Nova Community College.
Did you go to prom?
I didn't go to
Oh
prom.
wait, no. Before I ask this question, I have to ask. If you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
If I could go back in time and give my high school self any advice, I think it would have to be just be yourself and like don't care about what everyone's talking about. And if you want to wear the fucking American, but get a like GQ magazine or something too, like look a little bit better. But don't let anyone like deter you from your dreams, and make sure that you keep that head. But also, most importantly, I'm proud of you because you kept the belief in yourself. Even if it was a little fake at times, like you really faked it till you made it. And guess what, bitch? You made it. So I'm proud of you. But don't let anyone deter and be yourself 100% and fuck the haters.
There you go.
And if you got haters, you're doing something right, Joey. Remember that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you go to your high school prom?
I didn't go to my high school prom. I don't really know why, but I think I was like in DC that night. I was like very in the DC gay world.
Yeah.
Like high school and me were not. I had separated by the time prom came around. Like I wasn't going to high school parties. I wasn't really friends with anyone. I had my whole other DC crew.
Yeah.
So it kind of wasn't in the books. I just didn't feel comfortable.
It wasn't in the books.
It wasn't in the books.
Yeah.
I couldn't pencil it in that day.
Yeah.
So I was very busy in DC. And like, I was also starting to go to New York every weekend on the mega bus for $20. Like, so I think me and Eric were like going to New York that weekend or something. So
Where would you stay?
we would just like get hotels because his mom worked for like Marriott or whatever.
Right.
So like we would just get all these sick hotel rooms. Like, and then he graduated college earlier or high
graduated
school.
high
He
school
like
early.
left. He went right to New York.
Yeah.
So senior year, he was in New York.
Right.
So I was like going to New York a lot. So I didn't have time for it. But I went to homecoming the year before and that sufficed. And I kind of like, I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah.
And I moved on.
Yeah.
So
It's very lame.
yeah, I was lame. I was also built like a bus driver then. So I didn't want to be in a suit and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it.
So I needed to just like do my own thing. But I was happy with my decision. And I think I probably went to like, One Oak that weekend and had a great time.
That's so funny.
Or the top of the standard, La Bain.
I love when people make the decision to hang up their teenage coat early and jump headfirst.
That's exactly
into,
what I did.
High school parties? No. Table at One Oak? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And like
Yeah.
coming back to high school with those stories is just unmatched.
Well, because
People
then
are
you're
like-
back there and you're like, oh, this is so pedestrian.
It was just pedestrian. It was giving
Yeah.
like, no. And like people were like, we went to Donna's this weekend and had Smirnoff. I was like, I was
Wait,
in New
we went
York
to
at One Oak
Donna's?
and I was smoking a joint with Rihanna. That was a true story. I was like, that was my weekend. And they're like, we were at Donna's. I'm like, I'm not going to Donna's this weekend.
You're like, fuck Donna.
fuck Donna.
Yeah.
Bitch, go back to English class.
Yeah.
I also had this thing senior year where it was called co-op. So like I had a job, but I was working at Palm Beach Tan like 3 days a week. So I would get to leave. I only went to school till noon.
Every day.
So like senior year was a fucking breeze. So like Thursday I would like be out of there on the mega bus to New York. I had a very unique experience. I hung up that little Old Navy high school trench very early.
Did you go to college?
I went to VCU.
Right.
I went to VCU and I was like, I'm going to be in fashion. I was like, I don't want to be in fashion. I did broadcast journalism with a minor in business and graduated a semester early and drove my ass right to New York.
Did you like VCU?
I loved VCU because I think it was like such a difference than like my high school experience because high
Right.
school was very more conservative.
Where
VCU
is
is like
VCU?
Richmond, Virginia.
Got it.
VCU is like 3 hours away, which is like close enough. It was very grungy, lots of gays, very queer. Like I really felt like I could be myself there. And that's where I opened up. Like Joey Z 2.0 was unleashed in Richmond, Virginia. And I just felt like cool there. Like for once, I felt like.
VCU stands for Virginia Commonwealth University, for those of you that are wondering.
Thank you. And it's a very prominent art school to this day. It's like the number one. I didn't go there for art because I didn't get into the art program, but I got into the normal people shit. And you know, I had a great I had a great college experience. Like, it was such an opposite for me than high school. I felt comfortable. People were weird and cool just like me. So it was like, you know, part of me was like, do I want to go? In high school, everyone was like going like James Madison University and like Georgetown, like George Washington University and like UVA. Like I was like, are those I kind of wanted to go there, but I also knew I needed to go to a school that was like alternative and like would accept Joey for being Joey.
There you go.
And VCU did. It was like amazing.
And my last question of the podcast is, did you have a senior superlative?
Okay, this is we need to talk about this because I have some like, you know, grievances.
Yes.
I think his name was like Daniel Murphy or something. So like our school, I was like not well known until I came out of the closet. And then I was like the head of DECA and the head of the fashion show. So people knew me. So I was very like fashionable, but I was like, I need to get best dressed senior superlative. Like no matter what, I'm not going out of high school without a bang.
Yeah.
And there was this guy who would like, I remember I was so hung up on, he wore these outfits of like this wolf t-shirt. So like this wolf t-shirt wearing motherfucker was my rival. So we were up against each other.
Would he only wear wolf t-shirts?
All the time. They were like from Pakistan, which like no shade. So, I mean, meanwhile, I was wearing God knows fucking what. I had the worst style, but I thought it was like, it was gay and it was like out there. So he won. And I was so butthurt the day he won. He won and he was like this straight guy. There was like so much drama surrounding it. People were like, Daniel Stetner was his name. They're like, Daniel Stetner won like the senior superlative, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I can't believe I didn't win. And I was so
robbed.
Butthurt. And I didn't care about you have to realize like, any extracurricular, any school stuff, I did not care about except for this. I was robbed. And I was like,
robbed.
I was, because he was like, he also like, I'd known him since like second grade and he never had any style. And like, it was so awful to lose to him.
You say, I've known this man since the second fucking grade.
Yeah. And I was like, we could have at least done a tie. But that was the moment that I really hung up that coat. Bitch.
Well, you're like, it's homophobic.
It's homophobic. It's over. It's done with. And I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I fucking left, bitch.
And you never looked back.
I packed up my Passat and I bounced out and I never looked back. And look at me now.
And I will never promote your product online. And I will
And Daniel Stetner, if you have a fashion design line now, I will never be posting a story with a swipe up link. Period. You're not getting a swipe up.
Joey, it's always such a treat talking with you.
I love you. This is amazing. Thank you for having me.
You bring such light to my life.
You bring a lot of light to my life too. You really make me feel, you know, like what I always say is like, you always want to surround yourself with people that you like leave feeling good. Like you leave hanging out with something, you just feel inspired, amazing. And that's you for me.
Oh,
so I love you.
And that's you for me. Where can all my little classmates find you and follow you? Also, you have an exciting show coming out, I think this week, right?
Yes.
This week. The week that this comes out will be the week that the show comes out.
Yeah. So Joey's at Joey Zauzig on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And my new show is called The Real Friends of WeHo, premiering January 20th on MTV, right after RuPaul's Drag Race at 8/9 Central. I'm really excited about it. Listen, you're going to see raw Joey. And
we love raw Joey.
It's raw motherfucking Joey. And a side of myself that you've never seen. I think you've kind of seen this because you know me really well. So it's that side that a lot of people haven't seen. So I'm excited for it. I hope everyone tunes in.
The world of Joey Z.
Period. It's my day-to-day life. And I hope that everyone loves it as much as I do. I'm really proud of it.
And let me, haters are going to hate.
There's a lot of drama. Haters
will say it's photoshopped, honey.
Haters will say it's photoshopped. Haters will say it's scripted. When you put 6 gay guys together, no script needed. I'll leave it at that.
There you go. Period.
I love you.
I love you. And thank you all for listening to my podcast. Please write to us at write to us at seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com with the subject line Classmates Corner. I love hearing from you. You make me feel like this is all worth it.
Bottoms up.
Up, but
Let me
is in
see
your
it.
cup.
Wait, can we do it? Can I get that Henny? Can I get that Coke? Can I get that Henny? Can I get that margarita on the rocks? Can I get salt all around that rim tray?
Hey, Trey.
Can you please pass me the bottle?
Of rosé.
Period. Okay. Love it. Thank you.
Stay cool, never change. Bye.
That was a Headgum podcast.